All right. Hey guys. Oh, thanks for sticking with it. Thanks for hanging out. That was a lot of fun, the pizza pie. But it is over. I promised some TAI casting, so Bunny Willis even got me convinced. We can also do Group D, so we'll see Group D, and that means Group A will be the only game that we don't have. We don't have the initial matches for yet, so we'll get those next Sunday. I'll do all the winners and the winners and the elimination matches next week. So this week you're gonna see, hopefully A. So I'll double check, make sure the Group A matches are due today. So I'll double check, make sure we also can't knock all this out. I have some time. You have to excuse me. I'll probably eat some dinner partway through and just chat with you guys. But, you know, sacrifices I make for StarCraft. Bunny Willis had no fun. I'm sorry, Bunny Willis. That was a good finals. It was very exciting. And I was actually really glad to see you there. So, yeah, we got an unexpected outcome. We got a non-Star Killer outcome. That being said, Future's one of those guys that when he shows up, he does well. But Star Killer's like one of the people who can just keep putting him down. Nothing exciting about it. All right, so maybe we'll have some exciting games for you. Let's go ahead and finish out Group C. I have White Ninja versus Tech 4. So this one, I'll warn you now, I couldn't get the order. I don't know who wins, but I couldn't get the order. So there is there's a percentage chance, so somebody out there can do the math, that we play them in an order that spoils the win. We'll still watch that third game. But I did not have the time between all the casting today to sort through and figure it out. So, oh, White Ninja, Tech 4. Oh, shit. Yeah, White Ninja, you're right here. All right. Go ahead and PM me if you can. Go ahead and PM me. Let me know. That being said, we ruin it. Now they know it is a 3-game, but that's better than not knowing that's better than knowing the winner. So if you can PM me, because I have Kairos, I have Blue Shift, and I have Port Alexander. So just tell me which one's game 3, and I'll sort the rest out. I'm gonna go ahead and over to Discord and. All right, there we go. White Ninja says, all right, so I'll type them into you. Get this sorted out in just a second. And then all right, it looks like Kairos, then Port, then Blue Shift. Okay, so game 1, game 3. Let's go ahead and rename. So game 2 actual. And then rename that to game 3. Then rename that to game 2. Okay, guys, we're gonna get right into this right now. Boop. Oh, it's an older version of the client. So we're going to do with that back and forth a little bit. Yep, let's go ahead and load that old version. in a moment. Let's get some. I got some nice music queued up. Is this nice music? We'll find out. Nope, not the pizza pie. Let's go and fix that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're here. Game number 1. If I can get music booped out of here. Got the StarCraft sounds going. I got a map up, and it's Kairos Junction. In the bottom right-hand corner, the pink Protoss, representing all inspiration. It is White Ninja. His opponent on the top left-hand corner, sporting the mechanical Zerg base. It is all inspiration's one and only Tech 4. Okay, so let's go and zoom out. Let's take a look at the happenings. We have a drone scout over here for the Zerg. Tech coming in, getting a bunch of information. Let's see if he does anything cheeky with this. You know, he pokes up here. Oh, he can potentially try to delay an expansion, drop down a proxy hatch. There's always a possibility as we get a nice proxy hatch out of this. Thank you again, everybody, for joining us. I hope you enjoyed the pizza pie. And we have just a night of additional, the all-inspirational. I've called it the all-inspirational now for ages, but, you know, the all-invitational for ages now. So you can let this finish, because I feel like that's something you pull for. Like, you pull drones to take care of that, because once that finishes, it produces larva. And if you didn't know, in StarCraft, larva makes units, guys. And I think like 5 probes shut that down. I don't know. We're about to find out if this is going to become a factor at all. Is this an issue? I mean, he's even building a Nexus in the 3rd base right now. Like, that Nexus is so vulnerable to Ling floods. White Ninja in a very precarious position here. I want to see how he gets his way out of this. Now, you're not a Zerg. I don't know if you just build your Nexus on the 3rd base location. All right, it finishes. And there's a queen. The first thing out of here is a queen. We're making some lings. Lings are already being queued up. 2 lings are going to pop out of here. It's going to be double gateway cybernetics core. We have 2 zealots now. So these lings aren't going to win the fight against the zealot, but they have free reign up here to poke and prod at some... oh, there we go. So they can play this dancing game. They can keep this alive until the queen pops out. If you got a drone in this area, you can start putting down spine crawlers, protect those with the lings. I love it, by the way. If you didn't know, the mechanical Zerg building catches fire like a Terran building. It doesn't burn. All right, we're not going to inject mechanics, but oh, getting the creep tumor down, putting some more damage down on the zealot. Nothing actually coming across the other side. This is just doing the damage it can do on its own. There's nothing following this up right now, but it is creep spreading. This creep tumor will exist until it doesn't. Actually, it will exist until we can get some vision to deny it. This is going to keep this from being a built on. You can't make a Nexus here. This is absolutely fantastic. Maybe not for White Ninja. This is just a moment here. That's right, White Ninja. We'll play this in an order. And if all the games start off this fantastic, it doesn't matter what order we watch them in. But we do have a spine crawler going down here for the defense. Starting to get a couple lings out. Now he's killing the larva. Funny enough, those still could have been drones. We're getting a robotics facility. That overseer first out of there. We'll do something for getting rid of this creep spread. This is it's a dangerous thing to have happening in your base. You could have surprised he didn't start injecting it this way, but I guess if he starts connecting it over to the 3rd base, it's something. Back over here, though, we do have some adepts trying to put down some damage, but there are a lot of queens here to deny this, and it looks like the adepts, one will fall. Wait, oh no, we got them both. He got both of those adepts before they were to get out of there. heavily bruised and damaged. But they did get 11 drones in the process. So White Ninja actually throwing a bit of damage back on the other side. So this start here, he's not been punished for it. He's not been punished for this third base. Tech 4 unable to follow up and do a significant amount of damage here. Looks like Ling Speed finishing up a little late. Whatever it cost him to get this thing going took a moment. Now the Observer's here. It's going to push away the Overlord. It should push away some creep spread soon. Allow him to take a natural on his natural, or third base in his natural. That 2 kills is a lot. Absolutely. Holy shit, Cyrex. Getting in there. Link's forcing the missed mining time, but it's not doing any killer damage here, and those Lings are going to have to be pushed back. The Sentry Adept combo is enough to handle that. Now we're getting a couple gateways. We're getting some Immortals coming out. Still got the creep, though. Still needs to be taken care of. Maybe he doesn't realize how many tumors are left over. He thinks it's going to recede naturally, but these creep tumors are going to persist for a little bit. So if he wants to take a third base anytime soon, he needs an answer to that. Coming over here, Tech 4 getting his third base. Obviously a little slow with all the shenanigans happening on the other side of the base here. Ling's in the middle of the map, looking to find some damage, looking to poke and prod, get some scouting information, maybe catch an Adept running across. This Observer here gonna spot a plethora of getting a plethora of information. Gonna see the layer being morphed down here in the natural. It's gonna see the Queens. There's no immediate detection, but layers on the way. If need be, it is a short morph away. I like the Immortal sitting here, denying the access to this, and there it is. So White Ninja now trying to make a third base. He's waiting for the creep to disappear, and I think the Observer is, there's only one. There's only one, and it's on the other side of the map, detecting right here the other army. Back in the production tab, we don't have another one. Like the Immortals are taking precedence over detection. The detection on the other side of the map is taking precedence. We don't have a third base now. Whether or not he intends to make a third base, I'm just kind of looking at this probe, thinking maybe that's what he intends. But we do have Warp Prism moving across the map. It's got some Adepts in it, hoping to get some damage, hoping to find some kills. And I'm gonna sneeze. Well, second, and maybe sneeze. Any second. Okay, went away. That's fantastic. But these Adepts here, getting a couple kills. Queen focused on the Warp Prism, like a good Queen. Roaches and Lings now on the board, hoping to push this away. And that Warp Prism's not going to find much more damage, at least for the moment. Alright, it's going to go home. Take a quick look. Alright, so we get some more gas here for Tech 4. He's getting Roach speed. He's kind of moving into that Roach tech. Now, Immortals, going to be a bit of a balance behind that, but we do have Resonating Glaives. We have a Templar Archives being put down, 2 Forges. Looks like White Ninja hoping to go up the tech tree. Finally cleared out all the creep tumors, so that creep will recede. He'll be able to take his third base. And honestly, save his third base. His third base is so safe now. It's still his second base. That's in a dangerous position, but he's moved on past part of the game where that's dangerous. He has not paid the price for... he didn't pay the price. He didn't pay the price for a fast third base. Well, a fast second base and third base location. So, great on White Ninja. He's probably feeling a little stressed or behind right now. He's sitting at home. Oh, I say sitting at home. He's doing things out in the open. He's doing things. Rubbing us feeling stressed. He's feeling good. When you're microing, when you're multitasking well enough, the game's in his hands. He's controlling the middle of the field. He's keeping the Zerg home. With the Zerg at home, they're not in your base, right? And there's just 4 Adepts. This is 4 Adepts, a Warp Prism, and a lot of micro, a lot of multitasking. But if you can pull it off and you be on this side, keeping your opponent distracted, it's worth it. We are getting some Ravager morphs now. Maybe a little more flexibility. Maybe take out the Warp Prism. At least keep it moving. Keep it from summoning in more. But these Adepts now, 3 kills, 4 kills. They're putting down the drone kills, 5 drone kills. And they should get away from this. 6 drone kills, pulled out in the Warp Prism. And that Queen, returning back to its home. Interesting, the Queen can inject from anywhere, but a lot of players, we like having it out on the bottom. So when we cycle through, it's easy to hit our injects because they're always in the same place. But it does move the Queen out of the position to hit that Warp Prism as it retreated to the other side. Hey, Tech 4, you just got here. We're in, we're doing your games kind of out of order because I didn't know what order they came in. We thought we had the right order down, but I guess we're in game number 2. And this is the one where you planted the hatchery in his natural base. And he didn't get punished too badly for it. He's actually got his natural base up running now, and we're getting a little bit of a conflict here in the middle. The Biles go up. The Zealots actually run into a handful of those Biles. Tech 4 doing a pretty good job of engaging, but there are a lot of Immortals and a lot of Archons in this fight still. It's hard to tell, where this is going, but it feels like it's tilting in Tech 4's favor here as the Biles start crashing down. Right now, the ever-present threat here is Tech 4 continues to be very dangerous here. Actually, Storm's going down. Doing a lot here. The Immortal count starting to dwindle. They're very bruised. They could take a few shots here, and there's more Lings on the way to try to take this fight. It's hard to tell if this is where he falls, if this is the sword White Ninja dies on, but he is holding on. There's just not over. There are more Lings coming. Lings and Immortals and another fresh warp end of Zealots, and this fight continues. This choke point, just holding out. The Ravager's heavily bruised in the back here, dropping some Biles into the choke point. The Immortals are quick to fill that gap. The fight's still happening just outside the range of some of them. Lings continuing to flood in here, but the numbers are starting to dwindle, and the economy of White Ninja hasn't suffered too much. He's still going to have some good warp ends here, right? He gets a couple more Zealots, and it looks like he's stabilizing. All right, so he's stabilized. We have a moment, and he's successfully pushed back just a massively aggressive attack. Now, Tech 4 was able to do enough damage here that it came out kind of even, right? So both players smashed their armies together for a little bit, kind of a mutual destruction, and White Ninja can't follow up immediately with a counterattack. He is going to follow up with some counter pressure. He's got 2 Immortals now in a Warp Prism that he's going to juggle right onto this. Low health, bruised. If he can keep their shields managed, this is, again, White Ninja doing an excellent job of spending his multitasking, his extra micro on this fight. These Lings now on the move. It looks like we're going to have a round 2 here, depending on the placement of White Ninja's army, how well he responds to this. This is some serious damage here. The probe's getting pulled. Actually, some attacking, some getting pulled. Kind of distracting the army for a bit, not pulling him too far. Wants to get him mining as soon as possible, but he's ready to engage now with Storm, Immortals, and a handful of Zealots. There's another warp in on the pylon. Storm goes down. Excellent and disgusting Storm. So many bruises on these Hydralisks. Got another round of Lings coming back to support this. There's a warp in of Zealots coming behind this, but the amount of bio right here for Tech 4, it's going to be very hard to deal with. This poor lone Archon, the Warp Prism goes down. The Archon out of shields, very little health to follow it up. These Archons, these Immortals, in a very similar way right now. So low on health, but enough to push this back here. As another round of Zealots should clean this up. As White Ninja does drop an Immortal there right at the end. The probe's being returned to the 4th base, and we're going to stabilize again. Kind of a mutual destruction kind of army. I say that, but there's a handful of Lings coming from the north again, grouping up with this one lone Hydralisk. This Hydralisk has seen a lot of war. He lives to tell it. Firing from the back here, the Lings get this around. There's a warp of Archons trying to make it in time. Warp in of more Zealots to join the fight. Probes mining their little hearts out, trying to pull enough minerals to keep alive to sustain themselves. And it looks like the Archons, the Immortals, and now photon cannons and some battery, some shield batteries are going to give them a fighting chance. It has a really nice hold by White Ninja under constant pressure, and it's not even. I don't think it's the end. Like, it's this mutual destruction. Oh, it's these upgrades. Look at that, plus 2. The game slowly swinging in White Ninja's favor here. Is these batteries and these cannons go a long way into securing. Go a long way into securing his base. Now the Zerg on 3 bases, but we're on 3 bases at 14 minutes. He wants to expand. He's on about 2 base saturation. His opponent, as a Protoss, having delayed this natural for so long, is on about 2+. Not quite 3, but 2 and some change. These Zealots coming in here. with their upgrade advantage, not facing too much at once. Actually, just getting some good value for their mineral cost here. Kind of shaving away bits of army. Behind this +3/+3 started for the Protoss. Technical 4 here, just on a rampage of army, like just army size, but the value per unit there, not great. Now this poor probe doesn't know it yet. I don't expect this base is going to last long. It gets the cancel and gets absolutely murdered on its retreat home. Taking a stock of things, we're starting to get a good count of Archons, getting a good count of Templars, Mortals, a couple Zealots into this mix, and +3/+3 is right around the corner. 2 more Mortals on the way, but 22 Lings, Bane Speed, hoping to close this out. Tech 4 on a timer here. Storm is not a good way to spend that timer, as this small but destructive force of Protoss works his way into the main force, and the follow-on Lings, I don't know if it's going to be enough. I mean, even White Ninja still like opting to expand in the middle of this carnage. If he's feeling a little comfortable with these Archons, and he's going to clean that up. He's adding more Mortals to the mix, more Zealots coming to join this, and that +3/+3 is a sneeze breath away. Money Storms, says John, and Money Storms is correct. He's getting a 4th base here. He's even getting a forward aggressive base. 10 seconds here. We're going to get these ground weapons 3, ground armor 3. And if there wasn't a timing attack, there's not a timing attack in the world that's as dangerous as this many Archons and Immortals and Templars and Zealots walking across with a 3/3 army against your 0/0. He's going to have to hold here. Tech 4's got to pull everything he's got. There goes some Money Storms. Drones start going down. The damage is so strong that he can continue to focus on drones while this army is beating down his front door. The storms continue to melt away. The building is on fire! The Zerg building has caught fire! It is of Terran make, and the shield of this one Archon is so low. Templars being morphed into Archons on the spot. Replenish that. There's a GG. Well played, and White Ninja takes game number 1. Alright. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get into game number 2 right away. Well, as soon as I can. I think this is the only replay, so we're going to have to get out of the launcher and back in. You know what's never worth building? Evo Chambers, said Tech 4. Probably. Haha! Money Storms. I realized I missed the opportunity as soon as I hit enter. Let's go back to the banter. There we go. Banter button. Never been so disappointed in myself. Oh, that's great. I have a great crowd here today. Y'all are fantastic. All inspiration. You, my homies. Evo Chambers are just minerals you could have spent on winning faster. Quoted Cyrex, definitely. Alright, so I'm going to assume... So White Ninja gave me an order and it was initially wrong. We don't know who wins this set. So I'm going to assume the first map was Port Alexander, because that's what he said the first map was, or the second map was. So it must be the first map. He says this ends on blue shift. Tech 4, you got like seconds to tell me I'm wrong. It is Port. Second game is Port. Okay. Port was first. Okay. Cool. You kind of know the ending to this, guys, but you don't know how spectacular of ending it's going to be. This is the one game we didn't have the details for, so I had to give away some secrets. We're going to load this into an older version of StarCraft. I'm going back into the past to watch StarCraft, and you're coming along with me on this journey. Get in the car. The flux capacitor is loaded up. We're going to watch last week's StarCraft game. I can't imagine the replay code is so different. No, we have to do this, but works for me. All right, getting in the game number 2. Tech 4 versus White Ninja. Ladies and gentlemen, masterfully coming back from a hatch in his natural. Building his second base. Fast expand on the third base location. The pink Protoss in representing all inspiration. It is White Ninja. His opponent in the top left-hand corner. The purple Zerg, representing all inspiration. The man himself, Tech 4. All right. Hey, Asmodean, good to see you, buddy. Cyrex says, yeah, finally invent time travel, and you should go back 1 week and watch the StarCraft 2 match. What else you gonna do with time travel, says Asmodean. And you know when games this good? Heck yes. That's where we're at, with great people playing great games of StarCraft.
What time is work tomorrow?
9. All right. All right, we got a natural base again. White Ninja sees it. So you just did this to him twice. This is just Tech 4 standard build. Yeah, Brandy Cocast. I try to keep her off the stream. She's, you know, more talented than me. I can't have her take too much of the spotlight away. I'm kidding. Teasing, of course. But she did just bring me potatoes and chicken cordon bleu. So that's fantastic. All right, looks like standard ZVP to me, says Cyrex. You know what? Then I'm not doing the right things. We are getting 2 pylons. The Zealots, again, putting down some damage. And we're not actually expanding to the third. So White Ninja making some different decisions here than he did the second game. So I'm going to say that, you know, he learned from whatever this game was and played out the second game the way he wanted to. Back at home, watching Tech, you know, he's expanded forward. So he might be trying to hide an expansion. Trying to hide, faking all in. You know, it's hard to guess what goes on in the mind of a Titan. That being said, I think he's forced himself to, at least for a couple rounds, you know, move this Stalker. It's got to come out here. It can't be pushed out this direction. Which I'm imagining a scenario in my head. Okay, changing his mind on what he's building, but I'm trying to imagine a scenario in my head where, you know, Lings are flooding in and you don't want the Stalker out here, but that's not the world we're currently living in. So I'm about to just live in the current. We're getting some Lings. They're not going to come out in time to save it. He put on damage a little faster this time. But, you know, the larva is still there. You know, we're going to get these little bitey boys out. And it looks like one set of Lings is going to come up here and try to, you know, get some scouting. Maybe do some harassment. But there's just, you're not getting anything done here. All right. Taking a look at Tech Force's interesting note. Before we played, White Ninja looked at my metrics and said, you get cheesed a lot in PvZ because all he saw was the Protoss responding to the hatch and not knowing it was in his base. Okay. That's funny. Oh, gosh. You get cheesed a lot. Behind this, Ninja should be taking an expansion and trying to get himself caught up. Tech's taking his third base. You know, he's going to slow down his tech tree a little bit, but you know, he's really taken White Ninja off of his rhythm. He's forced him into a different path, right? So everything's new, and he's exploring new attack patterns. He is actually getting to harass a whole bunch of overlords, so that's money. And on this, deciding the pullback, kind of regrouping. Gonna use his time well, you know, killing some overlords. Gets that one, gets 2 overlords for that. Supply blocks Tech 4, 34 to 20. That's a lot of money he's gonna have to throw back into some overlords. So, you know, good snag there. Coming back home, it's gonna slow down the economy a little bit. You know, smart Tech 4 throwing down some structures. In the meantime, free up some of that supply. We do have a Stargate now. First Oracle out on the map. We'll see if he gets any damage done. Behind this, and take a quick peek. We did have, okay, so because of the because we had that supply block, you know, actually triggers the Zerg to make some buildings to free up some supply. You know, keep spending his minerals. So might be why we have spore crawlers. It might be why we're not going to get a lot of damage done with that Oracle that recently gimped and then repaired Oracle. Blizzard is very quick to respond to our complaints. All right. Oh, here we go. Oh, there we go. we're getting now. The Lings have surrounded 1, 2 Adepts, not quite able to finish their shadows. Those Lings were absolutely on point. Got a good surround against the wall here. Queen spotting the Phoenix, putting a couple shots on that. That Phoenix on the hunt. Like you supply block him. You supply block him once. Yeah, feels good. He's looking for that second. He's not going to find any. Well, he might actually. This Overlord right here in his path. I missed it. Oh, he's going to miss it too. This is actually his stopping point. Ling's poking around, trying to gather some information and get a good eye on things. Phoenix is getting a Ling for their trouble. Taking a quick look around. Looks like Roach Warren really far forward. Third base for Roach Warren, hoping to transition away from Lings. And with what his opponent's got going on, what we just finished watching in the Pizza Pie, Roach Warren all in versus double Stargate could be a really good response here. A really good game. We could possibly close it out with some aggression. We'll see what decision tree he decides to make. And with that, I'm going to eat a potato, a tiny potato. Asmodeum, 16 cheers, 16 bits, man. He says, Voyo. Oh wait, no, that's like the emoticon. Vohio. Thanks, man. I really appreciate it. It's great to have great friends here who come in and support. Not only the community, but myself showing some love. I appreciate it. Wagon says the spores were really early. You want to start the spores when the Stargate finishes. No, his Stargate triggered the spore crawlers. Come on, Casey. That's fair. I sees it as I sees it. All right, we got a Hydralis Gen down here at the bottom. We got some Phoenixes coming in. They're going to get the Queen. Not a lot of strong responses to this right now. One Spore Crawler can put some damage down, but he really needs the second one to finish up. He can get a lot of drones right now. Uncontested, 6 drones go down as they move in to get the Overlords. Overlords running for their lives, trying to find Spore cover. 2 go down. 3 go down. 3 go down here. The Queen also in a very dangerous position. Now we have double Spore Crawler. This might be enough to push him away. He's still going to get 2 drones for his trouble. A very bruised Phoenix as a result. He's getting so much money out of these Phoenixes as he continues to move around. Take a quick look at the supply, 81 to 74, and absolutely Asmodean, I feel special, man. You is one of my favorite dudes in All In. I hope we get to meet again at an event. All right, coming around here, the Phoenix is doing a little bit of dance in the middle. Taking a look at the production tab. Looks like I'm going to double check in a second before I say words. We're getting another Nexus on the way, a couple gateways, a robotics facility, and I think, okay, shield battery. All right, I was like, is that a fleet beacon? No, that's a shield battery. All right, we're getting so many Overlord kills here, forcing the recreation of hundreds of materials of units. Not quite getting the supply block that time, but he's going to force out so many more, especially when we're dealing with Hydralis. Very, very, supply-hungry unit. Asmodean says, I'm going to go try to do DH DreamHack Dallas. Nothing is confirmed. Yeah, I'm looking at that as well. I got to take a look at my calendar. I'll be driving down if I do it, and then I'll be moving on to Fort Knox for my summer job. I'm starting a new job there soon. Next Saturday, not sure how vacation is going to work out. Oh, man, that's fantastic. So you'll be right in the area. Even if I do make it and you can't go, we could still hang out, grab some dinner or something. Very cool. Anything, you had the late nights. Oh, wait, start a new job here. Maybe not in Dallas. Okay, I thought you said a new job in Dallas. All right, taking a look around. We have a big move out from Tech. He's got some Hydralis, he's got some Roaches, he's got a couple Overseers to pick up, all funny business. A new job here in Arkansas, that's fair. We got some Zealots protecting this base, at least a bit of a deterrent with the Phoenixes. They're going to spot it, but they are absolutely going to be obliterated. They can't face down this many Hydralis at once. We don't have the numbers coming out of that Stargate to support it. So taking a quick look around here, he's decided he needs some forges, Templar Archives. The production tab's got upgrades coming, but he doesn't have a lot right now. White Ninja in a very precarious position. He doesn't have a lot right now to deal with an army of this size and mobility. More shield batteries going down. He's looking to hold this, but he's going to be holding this with Zealots and Phoenix, and that is a lot of Roaches. That's a lot of Roaches with +1 to their +0. We get a couple Warpins coming in, some Zealots here to help defend this. We have the Immortals moving down. That's exactly the unit he needs, but I feel like he needs these in greater numbers. Now the Roaches coming down shields blocking it, giving him suboptimal attack paths here. The Immortals putting down lots of damage. We're starting to lose some drones. The Hydra's starting to make their way through. Immortals last a lot longer than sometimes you think. The numbers of Hydralisks and the number of Protoss units bouncing back and forth here. A scale of balance as he goes in for the kill. The Hydralisk moving up the ramp. Another Immortal goes down. Stutter stepping forward. Another Immortal goes down. More Roaches come to join the fight. Shield battery taking damage. He's got to answer this. He's got to apply pressure from the top of the ramp. But another Immortal goes down. Nothing but 2 Stalkers and a round of Warp Ends of Zealots here to stop this. The Hydralisk putting down some serious threat and some serious damage. Now as he starts melting through some Zealots. The probes have been pulled. The probes have been pulled to get away. They're not pulling into the engagement. They're melting 13 probes down now as this third base completely exposed. More Hydralisks coming to join the fight. +1 started behind this defense. A couple Templar and some Archons immediately being brought in. He needs these Archons. He needs some Immortals. But most importantly, I think he really needed that third base as the army count for Tech 4 is getting higher and higher. You don't need upgrades. You just need army. That creep spread absolutely pretty good. As Modium points out, the highway coming from his from the Zerg's bases all the way to the midpoint of the map, and a minimum 4 bases now for Tech to White Ninjas 2, and he's not repopulating. I don't think he knows he's not on the defense immediately. As Modium, thanks for the host. One viewer, I love you, brother. Thanks for hanging out. Testing out these awesome alerts. Tech Force says, hey man, I got an upgrade this game. No, you did. You absolutely did. You even have the upgrade lead. And it's the upgrade. It looks like it's winning you a lot of damage here. Really quite like the player in the game calling me out for bad. Alright, we got some damage down here with the Hydralisks. They're melting through gateways. That is the blob of Hydralisks actually pre-spread to get the defense as it comes back up the ramp. He's in position to defeat it. He's in position to take some storms to the face, actually. Storms are disgusting. Nerf storms, Blizzard, as that's a lot of red and a lot of yellow in those Hydralisks. But will it be enough? That's still a huge force of biological units coming downhill to melt away the third base. And it looks like 5 more probes going down. Base didn't even get the cancel. He just spent the 400 minerals. There's a GG. There's a tap out, and Tech 4 takes game number 2. Whew! Looks like we get ourselves a game number 3, but I guess we knew that. This is the first series of Group Charlie. Second series was played earlier, and we're gonna get ourselves a happy 3 games. Cyrex says if you hadn't got that upgrade, you would have won faster. All right, so we'll go ahead and quit out of this, load back in, and get into game number 3. I think I can, now the Army, the military, mostly, but the Air Force initially. That's taught me one thing about eating, and I can do it fast. I bet I can get, an entire chicken cordon bleu in a loading screen. Between streams. Now this game is weird. All right, so we've had some weird games. And Tech 4 has just let us know that this game is weirder. That was the wrong way to take a bite. Almost got cheese on my hoodie. I hope nobody plays Standard, because really you guys are providing us the most entertaining games. Alright, so we're going to get game number 3. It is Blue Shift. Hit that Watt solo button. And we're going to shoot on over and get us some Tech 4 White Ninja games. Glad we waited till later in the day to play this. Made that conscious decision. I'm glad both of y'all could be here. Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're on the Blue Shift. We're on the game number 3. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, the pink Protoss. White Ninja. In the top right-hand corner, the purple Zerg. The general manager of all inspiration. It is Tech 4. So we've had 2 games in a row where we've gotten ourselves a proxy hatch in the base. Seems to be Tech 4's. He just wants it. This probe now, though, here to try to fit it off. Instead, we get the proxy hatch just moved slightly higher and up into the main base. Now, we don't know if White Ninja... He hasn't seen it, but does he suspect it? And he is going to spot it. He's going to start throwing down some damage on it. Now, this is a little farther away from the wall, so you won't get that Zealot out quite as fast. So he might get the Queen out on this. He might get some drones. We'll see what he decides to do here. That first Zealot now queued up. No follow-on buildings because, you know, maybe he does really want this. He does really want this hatchery. I guess this is just the tempo. You know, Tech 4 gets a hatchery in a weird place inside the base. He tries to get some things going with it, and it seems rehearsed. It seems practiced. He knew exactly what to do when his decision making led him here. You know, the probe was blocking his ability to drop in the natural. The Zealot now putting down damage. Nothing else being pulled for this, though. And it did take him a little longer to get the Zealot on it. So, you know, I'm thinking he might get the Queen out here. Alright, so we're doing triple gateway to deal with this. Alright, I'll put down the potatoes. So, triple gateway to deal with this. Behind this, Tech 4 not quite working on speed yet. He's going right for the Roach Warren. Roach is popping out in your base. Could be a pretty big deal. This Queen gets out. Maybe, oh, there we go. One was a drone with a spine crawler. Or wait, did that drone travel from the outside? Alright, so we have a spine crawler. This hatchery is going to be a consistently bad thing. I don't know if he has money for... Oh, it wasn't 3 gate. I missed it. So it was just 2 gate. The 3rd gate coming down now. The drone's being pulled. Yeah, this situation is getting more and more dire. This isn't just a casual hatch. This is popping a spine crawler. It's got a Queen. The Queen is full health. 2 drones start going down. There's no more Zealots up here to contest this. Adept. There we go. He needs an Adept down here. He needs an Adept to push away the Lings. I can still 2-shot. But, you know, now he's got to contend with the spine crawler within range of... well, everything, right? So within range of the gas, within range of not quite the Nexus. It is taking a little bit to burrow. Tech 4 says, I do not see a reason not to proxy hatch in CVP. Well, you're showing us your logic isn't wrong. A lot of focus fire right here on this pylon. The shields of the shield battery actually not replenishing it. Oh, replenishing probes instead of the pylon. Pylon. I guess no reason not to finish up. No reason to finish the pylon, but he's taken over the base. Tech 4 has taken over the base of his opponent. He has forced his opponent into his natural as the main base. All these buildings up here, worthless. Like, maybe he starts making probes later, but right now they're going to do nothing for him. And he hasn't even started applying pressure from the outside. We have built a base in his base. He has taken over his main. He has 2 mains right now. Tech 4 is 2 mains. And Tech 4 says that is what you do when they don't respect the hatch. You have to respect the hatch. Too much can happen out of that hatch. You're not wrong. Again, these Queens and these Roaches pushing forward on this side, but on the other end, Roaches pounding on the other side. Shield batteries, like splitting the work up. There we go. Shield batteries are money right now. This Queen very tanky, but you're not able to withstand the pressure of 2 shield batteries powering his units. The Roaches here still very dangerous. Still more marching across the map here, more in the base. The spine crawler being moved ever and ever forward, and he's not even being shy about it. He's not falling back to the spine crawler. The Roaches are just coming. They're non-stop right now. We're dealing with a 3-base Zerg right now, and the Protoss has 12 workers mining. He's having to pull some just for the defense right now. As things aren't being brought in fast enough. The shield batteries, you know, spent. Sustained defense is not their forte here. As it looks like he's starting to clean it up. But there are still roaches at the top. He still has just larvae here to spend. As you know, he's been reduced to a natural base, so he can't push up here to take this fight yet. He's got to gather an army. He's not going to gather there. He's got to build his whole tech here. He's got to, in this allotted space, he's got to do everything that he's meant to do. And actually, creep spread could prevent that. Creep spread on this entire base could prevent him from doing any more teching. This could be a 3-gate cybernetics core fight to the end of it, as long as he keeps him contained here. And it does look like he's pushing in, trying to take away. Trying to do some damage to his roaches, trying to finish him off. And this is a scary enough force that he could clean this up. But I'll tell you, nothing's being made until he takes care of these creep tumors. He's going to need vision. He might get this base, but this base is still very worthless for a period of time. And it does look like this is all that hatchery wrote. But how far behind is that going to put him? This was a fantastic hold. Does he come back from this? Shield batteries, going to start regaining their... shield batteries are going to start regaining their energy. It's going to make continued future holds better. But he needs very quickly to get rid of this creep to start, teching up. There we go. We do have some space here where he can work. His probes will be able to mine, but he's got vision, right? So all these creep tumors are vision. They're knowledge that, Tech 4 has now for free. Now, how far behind is Tech 4, though? So when we look at the map and we say, all right, we're stabilizing, we might get into a real game as an army marches across the bottom. We're getting that robotics facility. We're getting some lings and some roaches prepared for the counterattack. He is on one base and some change mineral production, and he's walking right across the middle of the map. He wants to keep the fight on the other side. All right, awesome. Lesmodian says, ZV boosted. White Ninja says, I get proxy hatched 3 games in a row. This kid. Yep. Now you know what to expect, I guess. Now every Protoss, no Protoss ever should face it against tech and ignore the hatcher. I think that's a lesson. That's a life lesson. You got to pull some drones. Because right now we have a face-off. We have a face-off right outside the wall. Roaches. They're here, they're forcing respect is what's happening right now. They're forcing, like, I'm here. I know you're not marching across the map. You had the last couple larvae were used for ligs, and they're putting damage down. They're getting 2 probes. We have an observer. The creep spread can be cleaned now. But these roaches are sitting in the middle of the map, and they're saying, you can't move across. You can't hit me. I'll know when you're coming. And behind it, he should be macroing. So looking at, building up the worker count, getting that third base going. Roach speed's on the way, right? Stabilizing the fight, because now you're going to have to fight, a more normalized, ZVP. So looks like we're going into Warp Prism here for White Ninja. Maybe pick something up and get some damage on the other side of the map. Right? You don't want to keep all the fighting at your place, right? You want to move across, try to pull apart your opponent. So let's see what he does. All right, Warp Prism coming up here to the third base. Saying just out of range of vision. Let's see if it decides to warp it anymore, if this is just a minor adept harassment. Now, adept harassment, getting 1 worker, getting 2. You're forcing a ling response, but roaches, unfortunately, can't shoot up, so this Warp Prism is going to pick them up. You can move away. All right, that Warp Prism back home. Keeping the Zerg occupied. We're starting to see some tech trees now. He's starting to advance down them. Twilight Council coming up. Back home. And Tech 4's base. He's got the layer down in his third base location. It looks like where he wants to center most of his action. If your army's going to be here and your layer's here, it lets you defend it. Lets you defend it a little easier. He's getting his upgrades going. This is the heart of his army. It's a little forward. We do have some lings ready. And here in a queen responding to the Warp Prism. I'm going to force that Warp Prism back again. You know, you want to get the damage you can done, but you really can't afford to sacrifice the Warp Prism. You got to get it out of there. Queen into the shields now as this thing starting to take a bruising. 49 health, 39 health. Every shot's 10. Queen's in position. Excellent micromanagement here by Tech 4. Trying to find every opportunity to throw, you know, little bits of damage. This Hallucinated Phoenix coming over, getting a quick scout. It's going to see, you know, a partially saturated base. A couple roaches in here for the defense. I love the spread. Some pre-spreads of units for Tech 4. He's trying to get his macro up, trying to get to the game he wants to play, and he you know, he's not on the map. This gives White Ninja some time to come back, gives White Ninja a chance to establish a third base, but it also lets Tech 4 do the same. They're ramping up, but I don't know. I think this is it. This is a big attack. This is huge. If this is held and White Ninja can take minimum amounts of damage, he's in a good place, but I don't think you do with what he's got on the board right now. He's not fighting. He's not going to be fighting with the shield batteries. We have High Templars sitting in the choke. The Immortals are up there. Crash in. If Tech 4 crashes in the right direction, this is a very bad place to be. Storm not done yet. A little bit of micro. He's chasing down the Immortals. He's giving a bit of a choke here with the shields. He's stutter stepping in. He's putting down massive amounts of damage. Roaches, Ravagers. There's the recall. They're recalling back into the natural base, but there's not a lot there. This is a huge threat. Knocking on the front of his door. Roaches pounding away at the gateways. Pounding away through the chokehold, trying to find critical damage, and he doesn't. The way this SimCity's built, he gets free damage on this front wall. Taking the fights in the shield, though, not necessarily optimal as the damage and the bruises on those things do add up. Warp Prism out here in the middle, being microed around, trying to find a home. As I don't know, the 11 army supply left for White Ninja. Tech 4, I think he may be doing it right here as he moves in. Everything at the front, all the gateways are depowered. There's the GG. He taps out. Tech 4 takes his first series and moves on to the winners match. Oh, GG. Well played, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna get into. I'm not quite losing my voice. But I can tell my casting is getting a little slower. I've been doing this for a little bit. We are gonna go into the one game of Group D. We're going to do that right after a short break. And I'm going to eat this dinner. That's right here. But don't go nowhere. We have lots of the All-Invitational, All-Inspiration action following this short 2-minute break. All right, folks, we're back. Woo, that was needed. That was absolutely needed. Some great chicken cordon bleu and some potatoes. Brandy is a hero. It's getting a little warm in here. So I took a moment. I've opened the window. Let in some cool air. I've turned the lights down very low. Well, okay, I turned one light off. So dimmed the mood. Got some mood lighting. Have a little drink when we get into this last match. Loosen things up. Yeah, baby. You know what I want? Some StarCraft. Oh, yeah. All right, group letter D has one series. Both people from the second series were unable to play, Sosa and Frogs, so we get to watch Bunny Willis twice in one day. It's only this. Asmodean asked what kind of whiskey. This is the finest of Kentucky whiskey. It's a deep red Fireball. Because because it's like liquid candy, like really. I'm a cheap drunk. Oh, excuse me. Alright. A little bit of water and we'll kick this off. As Money says, I don't think I've ever seen anyone drink Fireball out of a glass. Are you saying that all your Fireball encounters are in paper cups, straight out of the bottle, in shots? Because I'll tell you, if this is a great straight drink. I don't actually know how Fireball is normally experienced. I know it's a fan favorite among a lot of people, but that's typically mine. I put it in a glass, treat it like it's just sipping whiskey. All right. Yeah, that's right. Everybody, bring it in. Let's get some giggles. I gotta treat it like fancy stuff, because the good stuff costs money. Costs money. I can go out there and I can get myself like the cheap stuff, right? Jack, that's the cheap stuff. You get a fifth of that, $40, or I can get a fifth of Evan Williams, $20. You ain't drinking that straight though. That's not a sipping whiskey. That's mixing. You're hiding the flavor of that with Coke. That's getting drunk whiskey. Never had hot cocoa and Fireball. Maybe I'll give it a try one day. Maybe I will give it a try. I will say I do appreciate a good whiskey. I do. My mentor had to introduce me to the proper way to drink. I didn't understand what I was missing, because straight whiskey for a while, I just couldn't do it. He had to sit me down and teach me the proper drinking method and breathing techniques. And I was like, all right, I get it now. I get it. So I do appreciate good whiskey. But if I bopped out the good whiskey as often as I drink, I'd be broke. That being said, this match is Bunny Willis versus T.O. The All-Invitational, Group Letter D. As Bunny says, I still don't get how to drink whiskey straight. Okay, so here's my in Tech 4. You can correct me. Here's how I was taught. And it's very simple. You hold your breath, you drink, you let it slide down, and then you breathe. If you're breathing while you're drinking, that air that's moving through the throat is activating that burning sensation, but it's not activating any flavor. All right, so you get the flavor by holding your breath while you drink it. There we go. It was more complicated than that. I didn't get lesson 2, so. Game number 1, Bunny versus Tio, is on Parasite LE. Old replay. Going back in the past again, boys. Get that flux capacitor ready. Any second now. The thing about this is when it reloads like this, Streamlabs doesn't catch it right away. So it has to almost finish loading. It's up now. I can see it. Parasite Ellie, when it pops in, it'll be almost complete bar. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen. Spawning on the bottom right-hand side of Parasite Ellie in the red, representing all inspiration, it is Bunny Willis. His opponent in the top left-hand corner, the blue Protoss, it is Tio. Alright, we have ourselves a regular rolled PVT here today. We have some great players come forward. Bunny Willis just showed us, a fun game, fun for us, at least against Future in the Pizza Pie tournament. So thank you for participating. Thank you everybody for watching and those who participated. It was it's a lot of fun every week for us, and it is always interesting to see what the tiers of GM come out at. And I wanted to say too much more about Bunny Willis's performance. It was good. It was better than I would have even thought of putting up. But it was a brutal fight. So we do have a probe. This probe skin is great. This is like StarCraft 1 probe skin. I mean, that's what it looks like to me, and if that's what it's intended, I just didn't read the patch notes. My bad, but I love it. It's a cute little probe here. Moving across the map now. Either looking for the scout or looking for the proxy. Actually, I want to believe looking for a proxy because the Reaper is going to be on its way. But we'll watch this little guy as he moves his way across. I acknowledge the chat. I will not verbally respond. It is 2019. All right, so it was a scout. He gets up there. He takes a look around. He sees the Nexus going. Protoss don't wall in against Terran. Sometimes a futile measure when the tanks start sieging into position. You don't want those vulnerable on the wall. But you're also not worried about the link floods, right? So different tactics, different openers here. This Reaper moving across the map now. He's going to try to find himself some damage. He's got a nice little wall hop right here. Something that actually can't be closed off by a single building. He's going to start throwing down his grenades, start throwing down some damage. Gets one kill. And then he's pushed back by that Stalker. He's going to use his little platform, and he's going to get out of there. He can use this Reaper. Take a look at third base, do some scouting later, maybe try to find some harassment damage later. It does run out of usefulness as the game goes, but right now, this early game, it can be a very critical unit. This SCV still out doing SCV things. We didn't get a proxy out of it. We did get a bunker while we weren't looking. We got a factory and a Stargate or Starport now on the way. SCV continuing his journey home. The Reaper getting back in there, trying to get some more damage done. This Reaper getting away. He has one kill. And the Reaper will finish him off. He's got the pylon in position to start blocking off the ramp. Doesn't have a need to anymore. The threat of that Reaper has been moved away. And now we have, Bunny Willis sitting back at home. I say sitting back at home, but we have a very forward Widowmine. I really like this. This stops anything not expecting a Widowmine, right? You don't expect him this far out. You expect him more defensive position. I mean, it's not going to hit every avenue of approach that Protoss takes, but you start, sectioning places off, their early warning systems. They might get lucky. No, I'm not going to grab that, but, might get lucky and get a Stalker hit or an Adept trying to get through and get some scouting information. I like the placement. We do have, though, the medevac. Now, this medevac coming forward looks like it's going to pick up the Widowmine as it journeys. I'm not sure if the observer saw what was coming, but he is getting another observer in place to catch it and taking a look. Not a lot of defenses ready for the medevac. He does some Stalkers on the low ground. He's got 3 observers on the board, and he's got most of them positioned defensively. All right. He's going to go ahead and let these Marines out here. He's going to reorder them That way we get the Widowmine dropping first and getting burrowed quickly. Double observer, actually quadruple observers on the board if I'm doing the math, if I'm looking at it right, yeah. That is a sacrifice of units that can deal with... there we go. Unburrow. I love the unburrow micro, burrow and reburrow, so you get a good hit. Ooh, getting the observer with it. Three, gonna get the, okay. I stumbled over some words there. 3 probes went down at the cost of 4 Marines, 2 Widowmines, and a medevac. Absolutely an unfavorable trade there. Well handled, executed by Tio. He pulled the probes. He got out of there alive. And now, he's here. He's playing the game. The only thing I'd say that makes that a, relatively, okay exchange here is we don't have a lot of units coming out of the Robo that aren't observers. I think that's the 5th observer he's made out of the robotics facility. So we're not getting any immortals. It's all knowledge and information. Knowledge and information is great. But the observers have decided to have a party right here. And they really got this level locked down, right? It would take some gunfire 3 times as long to tear down these observers. I just want you to be used, guys. I want you to go do your jobs. What are you doing? All right, enough poking fun at the observer. Taking a look around here. We're getting a couple stalkers, some zealots. Starting that gateway explosion so he can start calling in and really building up his production. Up the north here, yep, more gateways. So we have a total of 8 gateways on the field now. That is an excellent number to start ramping up production. And we do have, looks like a couple of Marauders mixed in with the Widowmines and the Marines and 2 medevacs and a Raven. So, I love the Raven. The Raven helps him deal with observers, which helps him use Widowmines. Kind of repositioning everything. Widowmines getting a little ahead. We have more observers coming out. So, having not watched a lot of TVP, I'm just going to go ahead and assume that Widowmines are meta, and that's why we have so many observers. But I think he just skipped around that observer. He didn't see the army moving across the field. So a nice little dodge there. He doesn't suspect it. Nothing's getting ready. We'll see in a second. Do we get an elevator? Do we get an engagement here at the bottom of the ramp? It looks like we are going to get a stem. He's going to move in. He's going to burr the Widowmines. The Zealots have legs. Widowmines shooting off. Getting a hit off on the... actually stasis block on the Archon. Marines, Marauders still moving. Stutter stepping back. There's another Widowmine shot. 2 of the Widowmines having fired off. One of the Stalkers unfortunately shooting... at a Widowmine, ignoring the majority of the army there. And the Marines, the Marauders, standing still for a minute. While nothing else happening? Am I missing something? Oh, okay, so he's doing some micro, getting some Widowmines buried into the back. Getting a significant amount of damage done. As these Marines take a big stutter step forward. Widowmines recharge there, ready to be moved forward. Taking a look, stutter step Marines into the middle line of the natural, getting a significant amount of damage done. Actually stepping back into the Widowmines, and then able to move back forward, taking out the Archon, facing down the Zealots. Now there is a Warp Prism. Is there any Warp Prism target fire? Is he focused more on the Zealots? It does look like he's going to take out the Observers while he's at it. Marines, the only units actually left that can shoot up. A lot of Marauders heavily bruised. This army probably wants to go home soon. Actually, this medevac here, full energy, can start putting some work down and keeping these units alive. The Marauders doing a fantastic job of keeping things at bay. But this might be all they wrote for Bunny Willis's push. You look at the supply count, though, 136 to 54. Tio really far behind here. Going to have to do a lot to catch up. Almost half the worker count. A significant decrease in army supply. Behind that push, he spent a lot of money on Zealots. Threw away a couple Archons. But on the other hand, Bunny Willis continuously producing army. Once this push ends, you bring everything forward, and now you have a disgusting, continued effort here. As Modian says, they are observing super hard. They are. And then they all ended up, a little bit of Miss Micro brought them all into the same. Ooh, a lovely storm there. Marines sit in for most of their life. They're having to stem backwards, so bruised. They're being tickled to death here. The amount of stems they've been forced into. There's the GG. Well played. Tio taps out, and first game goes to Bunny Willis. GG. Well played, Bunny. Absolutely fantastic. Thank you all for joining me so far here tonight. Now it's getting cold, so I'm going to close that window, and I'll be right back. All right. Ooh. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Asmodean, Cyrex, Nightbot. Hope you're all having fun. The faceman 10 minutes later, he's hot and gets up to open it again. I mean, maybe. Honestly, this room is tiny. The heater's off, but this computer is a heater of its own. It does keep the room pretty warm. All right. Bunny versus Tio, game number 2. Game number 3 may or may not be real. We'll never know. Well, we'll know in like, however long it takes this game to finish. But we are going back to an old version, so we're going to have to load this screen. I just started reading up. I mean, hi Tech 4. Tech 4, of course Tech 4 matters. Y'all trying to start fights. Don't do that. No fight starting here. We're all happy people. We all like each other. All right, this next map is Automation. We're going to get into it right now. Ladies and gentlemen, spawning in the bottom left-hand side of Automation, in the red, representing All Inspiration, it is Bunny Willis. On the top right-hand corner, the blue Protoss, representing All Inspiration, it is Tio. Oh, hi, Tech. I just started mentioning people's name in chat, and they were offended that I didn't say Tech 4. So it's nice. You have friends who are offended for you. It's a nice feature. Not everybody's so lucky to have good friends. All right, so getting that first barracks up, get this first gateway up. Some standard openings. Nobody's being cheeky yet. Tio, after taking that loss last game, probably done some thinking. I bet he's got a strategy. I bet he's got a plan. And I wonder if it has to do with this probe. Asmodean says, remember your friend subscription is nearly up. Talk on the Tech forum and that they're friends. I need to find me a list of friend subscriptions. You think I can get one with, like, Elon Musk? I bet he'd be a great friend to have. Alright. Alright, just a little bit of scouting here. The probe gets some information. He knows buildings are being built in the base. Nothing cheeky is going on quite yet. He can continue, his normal thought process. He's going to drop down that Nexus. He's going to expand. Cybernetics core is going down. So, par for course so far here in the world of the All-Inspirational Group Delta. Series 1, Game 2. Bunny Willis versus Tio. Alright, that first Reaper comes out. We're dropping a reactor on the barracks, going right into that factory play. So Reaper Fast Expand is still in the meta. I see. Tech 4 says, VPN solved my Blizz patch issue. However, Tunnelbear gives me 490 megabytes of VPN each month. I still need to download 24 gigabytes. Could you not patch StarCraft without a VPN? Are you done for the season now? That sucks. All right, Bunny Willis coming in here and poking at the pylon. His Stalker kind of surveying the cliffside that he can jump up on, preventing any sustained harassment into the base. This Reaper get the information he wants, and he's deciding, what am I going to do now? What comes next? Taking a quick look back at Bunny Willis. He's got that starport, right? Yeah, that starport making over here. Building the command center. Or finish the command center, building into the thing. The thing that calls the things that mine the minerals and builds the supply depots from the sky. That thing. All right, the Stalker actually walking by, missing the Reaper and the two Hellions as they continue forward. This Stalker can put down a little harassment, but these Hellions, a lot of threat right here. If he gets these in here, finds himself a couple of probes, especially with nothing on the low ground to deal with it. Hellions are dangerous, especially when probes clump up in lines and taking a little bit of damage there. 3 probes going down, and they are just lining up for the barbecue. 7 probes, 9 probes. Trying to do the best split they can. 10 probes, 11 probes. This is game changing. 12 probes, and the Hellions are barely bruised. 14 probes. They stay there. He gets 15 probes. It is blowing my mind right now. I think the probes probably could have continued mining and taken less damage. 16 probes for 2 Hellions and a Reaper. All right, man. John says he won Creeper Die. We're reigniting the passion of StarCraft here tonight, ladies and gentlemen, with 16 probes. And that just took away an entire mining base worth of probes. If he follows this up with like 3 Hellions, does the game just end? Behind this, he's building 2 barracks. He's going to have a total of 3 barracks on the board. He's getting his bunker down for any potential counterattacks, but I don't know if he has room for counterattacks. He's got Widow Mines and 2 more Hellions coming into this. Widow Mines not going to deny that mining time. 2 more probes going down, but they're all lined up from the escape. They're going to get burned down. 3 more probes going down. Blocking his own probes, but he's right. He's got a medevac. He picks up the medevac. He pulls the medevac over and starts doing more damage to probes. 7 probes going down. This is a total harassment of 23 probes, 24 probes. Medevac trying to get away now. It is barely alive. It gets out. He gets out of this with the Hellion, with the medevac. Probes not even mining. They're scared to death. They're trying to petition the Union. They don't want to go back. A total of 27 probes, and it's about to get worse now. He's back on more Hellions. GG. Bunny William. Bunny Willis. Bunny Willis. Ending that with a total of, I'm doing the math now, 29 probe kills with 4 Hellions. Bunny Willis just plays the game with 4 Hellions. Let's take a quick look. That's not even counting, he had a siege tank back here, he had a liberator back here. These things eat probes for lunch. GG and well played. Bunny Willis. Congratulations. That was really good. You get to move on to the winners match of the All-Invitational Group D. And we'll be following you very closely throughout this tournament. After making your way to the finals of the Pizza Pie, after throwing down some devastating damage there, I think you are you're a favorite of mine for the TAI right now. You are becoming one of All Inspiration's big hitters. So, Bunny, I'm gonna say Buddy Villain. Bunny Villain. Oh, good job, GG. That is all of the All-Invitational I have queued up right now. Once the A games finish and I get some of my voice back, I would be glad to finish those casting. Next week, you'll see I'm going to do the winners and I'm going to do the winner match and the elimination match for the second week. And the third week, you'll see right before the Pizza Pie tournament, we'll do the decider match as well. So we kind of structured this. We got 3 weeks to get through it, and that'll keep us kind of right on par. And we're not going to overload with too much casting all at once like we did last time. There's like dozens of games we were behind last time. We didn't quite get the casting we wanted to get done, but we're committed to some more StarCraft. This time around, we're committed to make an all-in, a premier location to get your StarCraft done. What is under my foot?